I want to educate you on you. I want to empower you in times of adversity, and I want to equip you to heal yourself because you can. Welcome to season 1 of my podcast, Unshrinkable. Hi, I'm Emily Katz. My guest and I are here to help you find what works for you beyond traditional therapy and mainstream meds. Hello. I'm very excited for our guest today, Mazal Etoile Basiri, a French psychotherapist, magician, and alchemist who turns, and I quote, shitty situations into gold. And I love that. She's all about supporting women on their journey to self-discovery, boosting their confidence, and bringing joy into their lives. Those fortunate enough to work with Mazal describe her as a transformative force, a source of unwavering support. She helps people balance their energies, overcome fears, and rediscover self-love, empowering them to confidently navigate both personal and professional challenges. I am so excited to have you here. Thank you, Mazal. Thank you. Let's dive into this episode filled with empowerment and self-discovery and the art of living life confidently. Mazal, please can you start with introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about who you are and specifically how you got here doing what you do.
Thank you. So I'm a psychotherapist. You already told what I do with women. I came to this field of empowering others from my own self lost, let's say. I started my journey as a childhood trauma, as most of us go through. And I brought all this baggage with me in my adulthood. And I didn't work on that. I didn't know that something was wrong. It was on the time that self-development, self-work, any self was not in at the time. And I was really against therapists at the time. So all my days until my mid-30s were just reaction after reaction after reaction, building up for that childhood. And I never thought that there was something wrong. Like I was so used to a shitty situation. Like I grew up in a shit show. So I used to be shit everywhere. That's what I used to. So that's what I did. That's what I behaved. And I was jealous and comparing myself a lot with what other had. And I was like, how did, like they must had a really good childhood. Like, I'm sure that there is two worlds. There is the shitty world where I came from and there is the good world. And in order to be in the good world, like it was really good and bad, that does not exist, but it was my perception. And I want to be in that world. I need to behave like them. I need to wear the thing and I need to look presentable and to be good. So I did that on the appearance. I had the French polite, good girl show on top in Israel. Well, but inside, I was with the same beliefs. So on my mid-30s, everything starting to scramble, piece after piece. It was one after the other until that I could not play the game anymore or play the show anymore. Mm-hmm. So all the masks were down and I was down as well, touching my non-return bottom, like the moment that I felt the floor and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do now? And that moment was just a crucial moment for me. It was just, Mazal, you just come back and we rebuild everything. Now, I didn't know what is the everything. I didn't know what is the rebuild. I just know that at that point, I'm not going louder, like I'm not going in more.
Yeah.
And I started my own self-discovery. I went to therapy for the first time. Like I tried several times, didn't work. I didn't like the way of treating me. I didn't like. It was always about symptoms and you're like this and you're like, no, I'm not like this. It doesn't work. Until I started to work with what I work today, which was, yes, going on the past. Yes, resolving the pain. Okay. And feeling the emotion, because that's what trauma is, unfilled emotion. That's a big name for unfilled emotion. And what was it was to feel again. It was about feeling my emotion again, what I suppressed for all those years because it was too painful the way I grew up, and also to bring me into action. So basically it was feeling and Mazal start doing action all the time. I'm not like just going in the past and just staying in my shit show there. I'm building the thing. So always learning, getting your emotion out of comfort zone. And always like that. So basically my healing journey is getting out of my comfort zone, extending much more all the time my limits. And I understood that my own suffering, my own story, my own thing has a purpose for someone. If I'm able to go from not having a home, salary, money, nothing, and get to where I am today, someone can learn from that in some ways. And that's how I started my own study. I go back to school. After many years, I go back to school, studied. I put all my money into to school, to books, to podcasts, whatever I could learn. I was thirsty about all those years that I felt like, where was I? Where was I? I opened my eyes, I see the world, and I offer 30 something year, I wasn't here. So if I wasn't here, who was here? And then I needed to learn, but learn differently, learn something new. So I started about trauma and nervous system and brain development and childhood and spirituality and whatever I could read that fulfilled and awakened or put some more fire in me, I did. Until I trust myself to also let go of the books and just learn on my own intuition, because I truly believe that we all have access to the knowledge that we need that comes with us, and self-confidence and self-worth, because we need to feel worthy of the life that we want. And the confidence is the self-acceptance, the self-love, the just accepting who we are. And we are perfectly imperfect and beautifully shattered and completely broken into pieces, between beautiful puzzle that we make out of it, which is our own puzzle. And the confidence brings us the opportunity to do actions and to just have the courage to move forward. Yeah.
Amazing. I think we already ascertained this, that there's a lot of similarities in our journeys, and I can resonate so hard with the idea of, hitting the rock bottom, something has to change, and then just devouring information. I want to understand everything and just learn it. And yes, I really, really resonate hard. There are two things though that you said that for me are legit, share worthy quotables. Okay. And one of them is, we need to feel worthy of the life that we want. I think that sentence that you just said is powerful. That sentence, we need to feel worthy of the life that we want. So I made a note of that. And I think that people need to note that down. It's a very, very big one. And there is also, you said, getting outside of your comfort zone. And I mean, I know you've sent me some stuff, and one of your clients said this about working with you, that healing began when they chose growth over comfort. And that for me as well, I really see is part of your belief system and what you do now. And I think it's so profound. It really, really is. So when it comes to coming out of your comfort zone or feeling worthy, either of those things, how do you even begin that?
Acknowledging the fact that you are not that. Mm-hmm. When I meet clients or people in general, I'm not going straight to the future or what they want. I ask for what they want. I ask for where someone wants to go. But to get to that point, the person needs to be able to see where they are, to be acknowledging and aware of what's going on here now. Because I can keep looking at somewhere further. I don't like the future version of me. I don't believe in that. I believe in us now, doing the action, in creating the us all the time. We're already here. And just by acknowledging who you are, it's not comfortable. I don't like it. I don't feel worthy. And the unworthiness comes not just by hearing that. There is a voice that will say one moment, I don't feel worthy, but it's I don't take action. I'm not doing what I want to do, what I say I'm going to do. And I'm not taking about the big goals. I'm saying, okay, this morning I said I'm going to go for a walk. I said I'm going to work. I'm not going to go, I don't know, I just watch a show instead and binge TV or whatever. I said I will go to the gym, and instead of that, I find myself eating a fucking a whole thing of chocolate. Mm-hmm. And again, there is nothing wrong with all those behaviors. Nothing wrong about that. You want to do that, go for it. Yet each inaction based on an action that I wanted to do, that someone wants to do, is distracting the self-trust, because there are not so small promises that someone is giving to the self, without doing that. So each time they're going to have like different parts that will say, I want to do that. And the one would say, no, I won't. And because we are used to the won't, it will take over. That makes sense?
Yes.
And then there is the what we call self-sabotage, which is not self-sabotage in the term. It's just the behavior that we are used to. And to choose the where I want to go is when it's out of the comfort zone. My comfort zone is when I say I'm going to go on a walk, I find myself binging movie. Okay. Out of the comfort zone, we get, okay, I'm not going to watch a movie. I'm going to walk. That's uncomfortable. That feels shitty. It doesn't feel good. The good that the person wants doesn't feel good on the way. Yet, when we see the short-term unpleasant versus the long-term satisfaction, that's the difference. It makes sense.
100%. So there's two things. There's the what is familiar to us is perceived as safe, right? To our psyche. And so that's the comfort zone. We're staying in the comfort zone because it's safe to us, even though we don't want to be in there,
Yes.
you know? But it's perceived as safe. So I love that you speak to like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with you doing that because there's nothing wrong with you. You're just staying safe in your familiar patterns. But if you want to stop those patterns and you want to break those patterns, then it's going to feel unsafe. It's going to feel uncomfortable, right? And I absolutely love that you use the words inaction, the inaction of the, like you're taking action within the comfort zone as opposed, and the inaction of the outside of the comfort zone. I love all these words. And I think I really do hope listeners are taking notes because I think this is very, very important stuff. You also mentioned just now about instant gratification versus delayed gratification. It is such a big challenge that I find so many of us struggle with. The delayed gratification piece. It's like, I really do believe that we're conditioned more and more and more, like in our society, to just find the safety in the instant gratification. We expect it. We expect change now. We expect it to be easy. We expect it to be immediate, you know, and I really feel that even practicing delayed gratification just in other places might help us kind of rewire that system that like delayed gratification is good.
Like it's patience. Is as you said, yes, society and the world we're living and the phones and everything make us having everything in 2 seconds. Let's be honest. I just order right now to my croissants in 10 minutes. I don't need to go anywhere. They just come to me. Like I think when I grew up, it was like waking up, going to the place, going back home, and then I can enjoy the croissant. Now I don't go anywhere. I can just sit on my butt and thing comes to me. When it comes to healing, we want also confidence and worthiness. Some believe that it's like buying a new car, buying a new dress, buying a new thing, and especially women who have really conditioned, all of us, and it's not about one country specifically. Maybe it's more in the Western world. To put out, to look good. I look good, so I feel good. No, it's not because you wear the thing that you feel good. You just something. And again, it's not a general. Okay, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Yet we're used to have those behavior of things quickly, and the healing journey, especially. I want to feel good now. Healing, like someone that goes into a deep search it doesn't feel good. And second, it takes.
Yep. I mean, I was going to say I got sober overnight. Like I woke up in the morning and it was like a quick, like 180 transformation, but it took years for me to get to that night. You know, it took me years and years and years and years and years of like existing at rock bottom for me to then get the whatever it is I needed in order to wake up that day and say, I'm done. I'm just fucking done. It's going to be as uncomfortable as it's going to be, but I'm done. I'm changing. Like nothing changes if nothing changes. And it was, I think when it comes to sobriety, it was just because it's a big change, right? And we're talking about the timelines here, but I think it was that it was scarier for me not to change. And I do find that sometimes when it comes to changing our ways, we kind of seek that like kick up the butt. There's something that like, we have to. Do you believe that we have to hit rock bottom in order to change? No. Okay.
I believe that anyone that has make the decision to say, okay, I want to do something else, can do the something else. I truly believe that most of the time, something else needs to be alongside with someone that believes in you and come with you on the way. And the rock bottom, unfortunately, most of the people we get to the rock bottom to have their butt kicked to awaken, which is the sad part. That's why there is like the
midlife crisis.
Life crisis at 40 or at 60, because nature, life, universe, you may name it the way someone wants to, is growth. Like our purpose. I would say my purpose, or the way I see life, is to constantly expand. The expansion, I don't mean like in being huge at things, but it's an inner expansion of knowing and growing and seeing who am I each moment. And one of the things is that understanding that our brain, our system, our whatever we call it, can change all the time. Okay, we can say we know epigenetic, we can bring all the words, all the big words that are scientific. A brain creating new paths on each action. That's why I so much insist on doing actions. Do action. Each action create new pathway in your brain, and that's what the change. It's like, it's not a change that you see on the outside. That's why it takes so much time. It takes the whole metabolism to create things that are new, and it's known it takes 7 years to the body recreate new thing. So that's what makes me crazy, but also fascinate about the fact that people don't change. Like, people use, and I'm always one of those people, okay? I'm not going to say like I became whatever. I'm still on my way. I'm just like maybe 10 feet. Yeah, I'm maybe like 10 feet a little bit further of my client at the moment, my specific client. Yet it's just doing the work all the time.
But you know what? I think that it sounds to me, it's like what I do, but it's like a mentorship. It's like you want someone who's just a couple of steps ahead because they know what it's like. They remember what it's like. They've just been there. And, lived experience, as I say always, I think it's the best qualification. But when it comes also to this delayed gratification piece, when it comes to change, and I'm saying, like someone who lacks self-confidence and lacks self-worth and is to become confident and feel worthy, it does take time, right? And it is based on these action steps that you're saying. And I think the first thing that jumps to mind is I was gonna say being pregnant and a baby growing, like it takes 9 months, you can't rush it. It's just, it is what it is. It's gonna take time for the baby to get ready and to develop, for it to be ready enough to be birthed out. But in that time, you're also taking action, you're looking after yourself, you're taking you're eating, you're drinking, you're sleeping, you're looking after the body so that things can work and things can happen. And I think that it is often hard when we can't see the things happening, like when it's not visible to the naked eye, so I mean, even with a plant, you can see it growing, so you're like, yay, it's growing, and it's like it's coming soon and your belly's growing and growing. But when it comes to inner work, like self-development work, confidence and worthiness, for example, you can't see it. You can't see the growth that's happening, so it takes, I think, some faith as well, like the trust piece. And that's when someone helping you out, like someone to guide you and keep you going and keep you accountable, that's, I think, a big piece of this support, because you can't see the growth as it's happening. You need to be shown it internally. Sometimes, like, well, I find myself saying to clients, like, give me your win of the week, so they tell me what changed that week. And I was like, how would you have reacted 6 months ago or 1 month ago, and they would have told me, like, you know what, I actually would have responded a lot differently like a month ago. And I was like, you see, it's happening. Things are changing.
We don't see, but you make the comparison with plants. And the one thing that came to my brain is Japanese bamboo. Okay, it's known as being one of the, you seed and you grow and give a lot of water to the soil, but the bamboo takes 5 years before it just grows. So it's like for 5 years, someone is giving water and working the soil and don't see a thing. Like, it look like a desert the whole time. Yet after 5 years, you're gonna have the plant that's gonna grow, and in 1 month, a few months, it's gonna grow 5 times bigger than any other plant. So that's how I see also healing. Healing is planting many seeds. You plant seeds. That's what you do. You do a new garden. You had your home, your inner home. You had someone had the inner home, the inner garden, the inner thing. It wasn't okay. The streets were dirty. The neighborhood would look like a little bit of chaos. And then we make orders. We reorganize the belief system, the thoughts, the behavior, and all that comes around. And that we do a new architecture of your inner self. So each action of things are those plants seeds that one day you're going to grow. But as you said, just someone next to you, mentor, psychotherapists next to you, seeing, doing what you already said, what was your win and how were you doing, allows us to see that something has changed. On the way we don't see, we make change. We change all the time, and we always we don't, because like it's like, okay, I want that big goal. We all focused, okay, and it's like a general thing to focus on that, on the end, the big thing,
destination.
yeah, and forgotten about the small step on the way, the journey, as we say, or the small rocks that we do put on the way. And those rocks, when we remember them, we will see the change.
That's beautiful. I really like that. I like the visual of that. Like what comes to mind is we want to get to the other side of the river, but every time we're putting a stepping stone to get across, and when we're on the other side, we're like, yeah, we got it to the other side. But if you look at the stones that you put, like, I think we kind of take things for granted. As someone who is on the other side of a few rivers, we forget and we kind of take it for granted and we don't notice the little things. And I think that that's probably one of the most important things that we can do, is really give credit to ourselves, see how far you have come, see where you are today. I think a gratitude practice as well is always helpful with that, those kinds of things, you know. And I love that. I always love seeing the posts, the reminders of think about where you are today and where you were years ago and the things that you wanted that you already have achieved, because so many of us forget, you know, like I wanted to have kids, and so every day I make a conscious intentional like point of reminding myself, like, you did it, you have them, you know, like just be in it, like savor the achievement or the successes that we already have. And I mean, kids, that's a big one, right? But if I think of a small one, like I remember as a kid, I really wanted boobs. Do you know what I'm saying? And like we completely take it for granted, and we completely like forget. It's like, I really wished for boobs. I wished I was a grown up. I wished I could drive. All these things that suddenly we don't even think about it anymore. But I think it does help build worth and confidence in a way when we focus on the things that we do have that we wanted, and the wins. And your take on that?
I love the connection that you did with childhood. Like I just make the connection with the inner child, basically, because this is who is not feeling worthy most of the time. There are those moments that remembering that someone says you cannot, or you can, or you can, you know, those moments that crushing out the self-belief. We all born already building with self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, all the self. We just came purely love, okay? And on some of the way, things happen to all of us, big, small. It's not about, I'm not going to compare any degree of, yes, something was broken. And what you say right now about the fact that, okay, I was a child and I wanted to have my driving lesson, so I wanted to have this and I wanted to have that, and I have this today, make also the beauty of the growth in connecting, like the child needs with who we are, and also with the joy. Because when we are, like, as a child, I would say I was a very happy child. I was a very happy, creative, playful. In some way, just, I don't know, I just become an adult. But today, this is where the child must, like me, my inner me, is where I found most of my joy and most of the strength today.
I love that. I think that it is very much, when this work that we do, I do believe that it is reconnecting to the self. Once I had a group called Relationship Rehab, where it was rehabilitating the relationship with ourselves, because I think that that is very much what it is. And I recorded an episode about joy and the playfulness of childhood and how we lose it over time, and she called it the serious syndrome, or seriousness syndrome, where we have to be grown-ups and we have to be adults, and so we have to be serious and responsible and this and this and this, and we lose that connection to joy. But even more than that, I do very much believe something that I say this often when it comes to like self-worth. I believe that if we weren't actually worthy, if that was the real case, that we weren't worthy, then we wouldn't care, because that would be true. We care that we feel unworthy because we know it's not true. Like there's a part of us inside, deep inside, that knows we were born innately worthy. We are born innately confident. And so the fact that we're not feeling worthy and we're not feeling confident, it bothers us so much because it's unaligned with the truth. And the truth is that we are worthy. Otherwise, we wouldn't give a shit. When we know we are worthy, then it bothers us when we feel unworthy. You know,
It's amazing.
I think that when it comes to self-worth and self-confidence, it is something that we have in us. It was conditioned out of us. And I think it's about reconnecting back to that inner sense of self-worth. That, by the way, though, when it comes to confidence in doing something, I think it's like any skill. Like if you want to be a confident swimmer, go swim, practice, right? Like you want to be a confident speaker, speak, practice speaking. It's going to feel like shit at first. You have to get comfortable with feeling like a beginner. Like you have to be comfortable with being bad at something at first, right? So taking messy action, being imperfect, embracing imperfection, all these kinds of things I think help with getting confident because it comes with practice. But when it comes to self-confidence, I do feel that as a child, like if you look at children, you know, the very little ones, they don't give a shit about shit. They don't judge themselves. They don't feel judged by they're not worried what others will think. They just are. They just do. Beautiful to watch.
No, they just, and that's the thing about when you became adult, as adult, that's what I think about when you go on healing, when it's like, we are passing 40, 20, 30 years to go to make a work, to heal ourselves, to go back to the childhood, not behavior, but sense of fullness, you know? Yeah. It's like uncovering everything that we take. I use my sentence I use a lot is to get dressed, you need to get undressed. So basically to get who you are, you need to let go of what was not yours.
So much as well I find of the work is helping people become aware that it's not theirs. It's not theirs to carry, like this identity, this piece, this role, this persona, this thing, like that was never yours. Like this belief, the belief, so many beliefs we carry that are not even ours, that we adopted them, we internalized them, we picked them up along the way, and they're not actually yours to carry. Like you can let it go.
And that's the thing. Most of the time we're so much used. I say we because it's like it's general. It's not something, a behavior that one person does and nobody else does. You do. You take the thing with you and you go with your luggage on the back, and then you have the victim mindset. It's the victim mindset. We're looking back. See my luggage.
It's so heavy. I can't.
It's heavy, but it's like having some kind of pride. It's not a pride on the way, like it's basically say, look at me, I'm so strong, and look at me, I'm so weak. They are the same piece of the same coin, okay? When you don't believe in them, okay? When you don't have the look at me, I know who I am. And it's the victim, it's the, blaming, victimization. Let go of this luggage. You don't need it. No worries. No one is gonna say that you have not come to events, and we all, like, there is no one person that doesn't go through shit some ways. Big, small, I don't know. We all have. This is life, okay? That's life. Life is a sum of additions of events, some of joyful, some of a little bit less. Yet you do your best, and acknowledging that who you are, as you are, exactly and perfectly, whatever, with your story, your emotions, your behavior, your things make you the unique you, basically. There is no one is born with the same DNA, with the same hair, with the same story. We can have many experiences that look the same, yet we have different approaches of them. That's why it's so beautiful and colorful, the difference that we have. So why the fuck do we take so much time trying to become someone we are not?
Mm-hmm. There's one mantra that I found recently. It's, I am who I am, and that is good enough. And I love it. And he says, just say it 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. It's like, I am who I am, and that is good enough. And it's just, I love this mantra. But something that I just want to go back to what you were saying, because that was also very important, the victimization piece. And it ties back into what we said at the beginning. I found that self-healing and self-actualizing is about shifting from a victim of life, life's happening to me, to a student of life, life's happening for me. And it is a complete reframe. It is a complete shift in perspective and an approach to life and to yourself in general, right? It's not happening to me anymore. Like I say, it's like you step up to the plate, you become the boss of this business. Like, this is my business and this is my shit, and I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna be the boss of it. I'm not gonna say shit keeps happening to me. It's like, it's happening for me. How can I learn from this? Every challenge is an opportunity. What can I learn? How can I grow? Right? And I think that everyone has a different path and everyone has a different story. But I think what we can generalize in a way is that there's a shift from being a victim of life to a student of life. There is this shift that's happening. But it's really interesting. Just one thing that I want to pull out there about the victim piece of like carrying this bag and feeling proud of it in a way. That's really interesting for me. I just want to pull at that thread a second. The fact that we do feel a sense of pride in what we're carrying and how we carry it. Do you have anything more to say about that? Because that's a new way for me to look at it.
It's just like, look at me, how I went through things. Like it's like trying to be seen on, I've gone through all of this, but at the same time being the little victim of trying to, please save me. But there is a kind of proud in some ways. Again, I'm not saying, don't get, like, anyone who listening, don't get my word like by diminishing any past events to anyone. But yet, most of the people, including me, okay, I used to be there. I'm not saying I look at people far away, you and I'm me, and I'm on the throne of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I can say about my experience, I used for 35 years, okay, I had my baggage of shit on my back. And it was a proudness of being in a shit show. And not, it's the same.
It's not about, I want to just clarify, it's not about invalidating anyone's experience. It is about calling people out though. Like anything, I want to call people out. I want to be like, look, this is what's happening. There's this feeling. And I very much know that one of my intrinsic motivators for changing and for growth for me is to feel proud of myself. I really want to feel proud. And I think that when we have all this shit and all these layers of shit, like, what can we feel proud of? How much I'm carrying. Like that's something I can feel proud of, right? Like, look at what I've been through. Look at everything. Like, let's validate this, but it's something I can be proud of, right? Because I have survived all this and it becomes part of the identity, right?
Yeah. Okay, you nailed it, the thing that I'm trying to say. You nailed it. It's exactly that. It's the proud of the fact, look at what I've become and how I did that and how strong I am that I could go there. And yes, you are strong. Yes. Now what? Okay, you've gone. Okay,
next.
You have
to the next thing.
Next, okay, you got it. Gold medal. You have like, really, you did it. Good. Now what? What do you do with it? It's like the specific question. What do we do with it? What do you do with it? Where do you want to go? What did you want to do?
You know what? I felt like it's, everyone says, we close the chapter on that story. We start a new chapter. And for me, I think it's about closing the book. It's like, I've won, I've succeeded, I've survived, I made it. I'm proud of myself. I managed to survive all this shit, but I'm closing that book. Now I'm starting the sequel. This is a whole new book, a whole new me. Like, I'm starting a new journey. It's the same person. It's a sequel to the book, but it's not a chapter. It's not just another chapter. It's a new book.
I understand the framework about the books, etc. Yes, it's a sequel. I don't look, again, it's just loving where we come from. It's looking at back, saying, oh, okay, those things happen. That's why I say it's to acknowledge where you are or what happened, just to be honest of the feeling of what happened, acknowledging the thing and even the behavior. It's not good. It doesn't feel, it feels shitty, okay? It feels uncomfortable. Yet acknowledging, okay, and having a look with compassion, with love. It's, like a mother to the child, okay, of seeing and having this look and say, okay, we went through that and it's beautiful. We have done this. I have done this. You did it. Okay, let's continue. Let's take all the strength or all the things that have been learned, because all those experiences give the strength and our qualities or the character we build or who we are, and let's plant new seeds. It's really being a gardener, student, a gardener. It's just planting new seeds and see where we can go. It's the choice. It's the difference between victim and acting in your life. You take responsibility. You take responsibility for your action. And your action, you choose where you go. Again, we don't know if, nobody can tell the result will be what you want. Yet, it's better to take an action and learn something on the way than staying in inaction and thinking about what could be.
It's hard to take the steps and get out of the comfort zone, but it's even harder to stay where you are when you want to be at that next place. And I think just to tie again what you were saying about acknowledging where you're starting from, like where you're at, is also if you put in the GPS, in the Waze, right? You want to know that's where I'm going, but where's your current location so it knows that it can give you the route, right? And so I think it is really, really important and a very necessary step get from A to B, acknowledge the A and then take action towards the B. Beautiful, beautiful. And with regards to action steps, what is an action step that listeners can take right now that they can implement straight away?
One of the exercises that I love to do on the beginnings of the session, etc., it's usually or writing exercise or just a meditation exercise. Take yourself a moment, close your eyes, sit with yourself, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, breathe in and think about you as a confident person. How does she behave? What kind of action does she have? How does she feel? What are her thoughts? What does she wear? Write down all the things that come up on your head. There is no limit. It's like a magic wand. Everything is possible. Put that on the paper. Let it go. No judgment, no criticizing, nothing. There is nothing too big or too small. Just let the thing go and see where it takes you. That's it. And then, well, take action.
Towards becoming her, right? Towards becoming her. I think it's getting clarity. It sounds to me, I love this exercise. I do this often as well. It's getting clarity of like where you are going, right? So like this, we're acknowledging the A. Okay. Now, what is the B? What does it look like? What does she feel like? And I understand as well with regards to neuroplasticity and rewiring the brain, it's also energetics. Like we're getting comfortable, getting familiar with that version of ourselves who, okay, there's a few pieces here. I love this exercise so much because there's so many layers to it that it's so useful. But I do also want to just kind of motivate people to actually do this by explaining the benefits to it and like the mechanisms of it, right? So when we tap into who it is that we want to be, everyone's desire is actually different. My desired is someone who is very kind of boho, she's very earthy and down to earth, and like all her stuff is from thrift shopping, and she's very sustainable, eco-friendly kind of persona. If you can, someone else is going to have a completely different person that they see, right? So it's very subjective, it's very personal, but getting our system familiar with that version of ourselves is gonna make it easier and less uncomfortable, I think, over time as we become it, because getting out of the comfort zone, as we said, is really uncomfortable. So if we make it familiar, it's going to feel safer to the system, right? And so I love it. And as far as I'm concerned, I also say visit that person as often as possible, tap into that as much as you can. I have a whole mantra that I've written that helps me tap into her, and I am her. And it's I am her and she is me, and I love this. I think it's a perfect exercise for people to get started with.
Especially, I really insist around the closing. Yes. I insist a lot about the closing. Underestimate the power of clothes. And I'm not talking about fashion and not styling, nothing. I just think about it's not about the costume. It's really wearing
self-expression.
Yes, we all have the moment that we have this outfit that we think we believe being powerful in. And it's so that specific outfit, when we reproduce it in the playing moment of that, helps to do the actions, to go on that road, and understanding as well that the person that you have written today, in a month, let's say you revisit in a month what you said, eventually there will be tweaking it and changes, because as you're going to go on the road, you're going to go and stepping on this process journey with you, you're going to get more and more clear on what you really want. That's the beauty. The beauty is that nothing is completely sealed. It's not sealed. Yes, and the road appears on the way. So today I know I want to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 is going to change a little bit in new forms, and that's the beauty of, it's the beauty of being us in discovering. It's discovering by uncovering.
Beautiful. I love that. Discovering by uncovering.
Discovering by uncovering.
Beautiful. Okay, amazing. Thank you, Mazal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are amazing. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your time with us today. That was really beautiful. There's so many different pieces and takeaways and quotables and share-worthy things. Like that was awesome. And I really, really hope that listeners enjoy it too. Big thank you to everyone listening in. I hope you found the conversation as inspiring and exciting and empowering as I did. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps me reach more listeners and therefore impact more lives. We'd also love to hear from you, Mazal, I'm sure too. What was your biggest takeaway from today? Stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more episodes coming your way. Mazal, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And lots of love, everyone. Thank you.